to you by
Genda Bunnambiro wagulira Fortune Butto asabikiddwa mu ngeri ey'omulembe mu kasachati ka mililita 5. Omufumbi ow'enjawulo agula Fortune Butto yekka.
in association with
Treats Paramount Cheese. And for vegetables.
I'll have a pizza.
Simply the best cheese in any way you want to.
So cooking can be just one of the most fun things for you to do. Only if you know what you're doing, but in case you don't, it's still okay. You can just playfully make your way and make the mess that you require until eventually you have a finished product. Well, it better be something very tasty and safe for people to eat. The show is Can Men Cook? My name is Olivia Zewa. You're very welcome. And this show is all thanks to Fortune Oil. In a little bit, we shall be meeting my guest chef today, who sounds rather very confident about his cooking today. We'll meet him in a bit. When you hear a man be so confident about his way in the kitchen, you know, that is one to watch, right? And my guest chef today is seemingly no stranger to the kitchen, and he knows exactly what he's doing. So he says, but we've had people say that and a whole lot more, right? And they've still come to the kitchen and it's not as easy as they think it is. So there's just one way to find out. Please make welcome. He is Executive Director NITA, Mr. James Saaka. You're very welcome to the show today.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
Oh, fine.
Okay, so this confidence, is it legit or?
That's my usual self.
Oh yeah? Is it a recipe you just saw someplace and you're like, I'll make my way through this, or can you actually name it?
I normally do this at home.
Oh yeah? Okay, let's watch and learn. Mr. Saaka, you're very welcome.
Thank you.
What are you preparing for us today?
Normally at home. So I'm rarely at home during the weekdays.
All right.
Sundays is the day I normally dedicate to my kids. So breakfast, I normally cook them Spanish omelette.
Oh, yeah.
And they love it very much. So it's the one I'm going to cook today.
Okay, take us through what's here before us.
So the Spanish omelette is good for breakfast. I love it, but doctors have kept me away from it, so I only rarely eat it.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Why? Why would that be?
Well, eggs are good, but not every day,
Okay.
especially fried eggs.
But it's as tasty as you can practically have it every day. If it
And
works.
when I cook it at home, the kids just eat all of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we have eggs. We have green pepper,
Right.
tomatoes,
Right.
onions, mushrooms. I rarely use mushrooms because some of the kids don't love them.
Oh yeah.
Especially the girls don't love them. And my wife doesn't love them. So, and then of course the spices, and
So that's all we require.
That's
to
all we
make
require.
a mean Spanish omelette.
Yeah.
Okay, good. How do we start?
So I learned this, I worked long in Shell, and I used to have lots of travels. And when you travel a lot, you spend time in hotels, and,
Right.
and especially in South Africa, where I spent a bit of time when I was in Shell, is where I met one of the cooks who showed me how to cook a Spanish omelette. That's where I learned it from.
How long ago was that?
I worked for Shell 15 years, from 1995, so I joined NITA after Shell in 2009, 2010.
Wow, it's been a while.
So I've been with NITA for 6 years now. And it's a lovely place. We do lots of things for the country.
Interesting. And we would love to hear all about that and a whole lot more.
Yeah.
How do you want us to get started with this?
So the first thing we normally do, I will first cut the pieces,
Right.
the onions, and so normally the onions, you want to use the, I normally cut the onions last because they smell on the knife. So I'd like to first cut the green pepper. and you cut these into very small pieces. I don't like these seeds, and also normally my kids don't love them, so we normally cut them out.
All right. You mentioned usually you don't, or your family doesn't like their omelette with mushroom. What
I like
else
it.
would you have it with if it were not mushroom?
Then you just leave the mushrooms out. I love them. I love them. But many, especially the girls, I have a family of girls and boys. The two are in university, have little kids. So I have Anthony, who's studying in China. I have Julian studying in South Africa, BCom Law. Then Trevor is in Namagongo, S4. Then there is Vine, she's in P3. There is Catherine, now in P1. And then Ethan is the youngest. He's in middle class, 4 years. So normally we very rarely at home, all of us, because some are in university abroad.
Right.
But when we are...
boarding school, okay.
Yeah, and some in boarding school in Namagongo. So you see the green pepper, we cut them into very small pieces.
Right.
But Sundays is my favorite day when I cook for them.
So you cook every Sunday. Is it just breakfast, or do you jump in with lunch? Or
I can cook a
dinner?
lot of things, but normally breakfast before we go to church. You're not going to church, we normally go for the 10 o'clock mass. And but then the kids, that's when they love to sleep.
All right.
So you get them out of bed, but they like to come out of bed and they know Dad is going to cook for us Spanish omelette.
Oh.
And that's the time I used to bond with them, have a conversation around the table. They tell you stories if they've not shared with you some of those stories during the week. So, and I love it. I love it. I love cooking. I can cook a lot of things. I can cook chicken. I can cook fish. I can cook meat. But I can't cook matoke.
You can. Why? Hard work.
My mom didn't teach me how to.
Can you peel it though?
I can with a bit of patience peel, but no, I hate it. I hate cooking matoke, so I leave it to the girls.
Right.
Yeah.
I just like, the fact that you're talking of how you're pretty much looking forward to waking up and making a meal or breakfast for your children. But and that can be something that would really glue the family together, and then it's special time for you and the children and probably their entire family. But other men might prefer to differ, from that, because they think, if I have a woman, mchala wachi mbena mfumba.
My wife actually loves it when I wake up to cook.
Of course.
And she teases me over it. She says, you know what, she loves the omelette I do also. So, and it encourages me.
Right.
It encourages me. Actually, the kids also encourage me. I found it, as they were younger, they loved eating it, but now as they are older, it's sort of teamwork. So one cuts while I do the eggs, the other one. So they like to eat other things, of course, like you do toast bread with egg, they like eating sausages. So we end up doing lots of things, but my specialty is Spanish omelette.
Right. So you and your wife, who makes the meanest Spanish omelette? Who does it better?
Well, I still want to go home. I still want to...
That's quite a long time. Okay, so we'll give it to the wife, huh?
Yeah, she takes it. I don't want to go. Right. I don't want to find a locked door.
See?
Yeah.
Yes, that's the spirit. That's the spirit. But that's really, really nice. interesting, but also some people believe, like we have all these people on social media trying to jump in with whether men can cook or who should cook.
Yeah.
That?
A plate.
A plate? So whether men can cook or who should cook, and then some people actually believe that traveled men that have been outside Uganda would be a little bit more daring or more open to actually cooking and taking off some time to make a meal, even in the presence of their wife or their girlfriend. And then that those that have not really traveled are just into that same mentality of the sifumbu mchala wali. So how so is that notion? Do you agree?
For me, I learned cooking. I spent 7 years studying in Russia. That's where I actually learned cooking, because that time, when I was studying for my bachelor's and master's for computer science, of course you had to cook. In Russia, the kind of food they cook, you don't like it. They would eat macaroni, but being foreigners, we loved eating meat, and of course they had maize flour, and for us we would cook posho out of it.
Oh yeah.
And fish, they had very lovely fish. So that's where I learned a bit of cooking, being comfortable over hot fire. And at home, of course, we cooked a bit.
Growing up.
Yeah, but we had girls, and so I didn't really. We had this boyish thing.
Yeah.
Girls go in the kitchen.
Yeah, it's a girl's thing. Huh?
But as I grew up, I learned that no, I think I need to put my hand into it.
Right.
And I'm proud that I feel comfortable in the kitchen, and I think my wife must also be proud about it. Because
And it is fun, is it not?
when I go in the kitchen, she's not worried I'll break plates or I'll end up cutting myself, or she's very comfortable that I go in the kitchen, and the kids also. So, and I am also very comfortable about it.
That is
So,
nice.
having traveled a lot also, that also helped.
Right.
I worked in South Africa when I was in Shell, lived in The Hague with the family for another 3 years before I joined NITA. And all of these times you've been living abroad with the kids. It's always been that time when you're in the kitchen becomes the central place for a conversation,
That's true.
rather than in front of the TV. So I feel proud about it, and I'm very confident about it. But the years I've worked in NITA, my job at NITA is a bit tough. I spend many hours away from the family. Sometimes I seem like a stranger in the house to the kids if I've been away for many days. So Sundays, if I'm around, I make sure I cook.
You make the time for that.
Yeah.
So National Information Technology Authority, that's NITA.
Yeah.
Tell us about NITA and what are you all about as NITA?
NITA, I happened to be the first executive director. It was formed in 2009, so I came back from The Hague as the first executive director in 2010. Actually started in August. Actually, I started 16th, 6 years ago. And it was a new authority. One thing I've learned in government, it's very difficult to create a new body. Very, very challenging.
Is it?
Yeah, very challenging. Can I have some service, please?
How challenging is it?
Because you come in and you've got to exert your mandate. The mandate for NITA is to operate government services and operate government infrastructure. We operate the national backbone infrastructure. When we came in, this infrastructure had lots of problems. It had lots of bad publicity. And so the first challenge was to sort out that project. The national backbone infrastructure is infrastructure that's used to deliver internet, improve communication within government. So that time when I came, phase 1 and phase 2 had been done. So we operationalized it, started to deliver internet to government offices. We started with 27, now we have 130 government sites connected. When we connected them, by the time we started, the price of internet was around, the average price in government agencies, they were buying internet at about 1,200 per megabyte per month. And we've reduced it to 300. We're saving government about 5.2 billion a year. And we want to reduce the price of internet. I'll tell you why. If the price of internet doesn't go down, it's not going to help this country. We will not be able to do innovative things.
Right.
Jobs won't be created. The UN tells you out of their studies that for every 10% improvement in internet penetration in the country, you improve 1% GDP of that country.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So my job at NITA is to fight to make sure we reduce the price of internet in this country. And why? Because we want to deliver more online services to citizens in this country to improve service delivery. Today, you know, if you want a passport, you go to the office in Internal Affairs, you stand in a line, you spend days. I saw recently people wanting to renew their driving permits.
And it's like the hardest thing now, huh?
Yeah, you go stand in a line. I would like you to do that at home. That's my dream.
Are we getting there? Do you see that happen?
We are getting there, and I can tell you there are several projects we're working on. And if we don't reduce the price of internet, you citizens you will not afford to go online. And that's the challenge. So as we develop services to improve service delivery, you people must afford to be able to go on the internet and reduce and do these things online.
Right.
So that's why we're working hard to reduce the price of internet. Of course, it's not easy. The private sector is doing what they can do. We government are also putting in our initiatives, our interventions. But the ultimate is to lower the bandwidth below $200.
All right.
What that will mean for the citizen is you will be able to do much more using an internet bundle, which you buy today, than you do today. Okay? You're going to be able to pay for services online. You'll be able to apply for passports online. You'll be able to pay for permits online. There's a project called One Stop Center, which we're doing with the Uganda Investment Authority.
What is it like?
We're integrating all the agencies that issue licenses to help investors. And of course, Investment Authority is the key one. You have URSP in there, you have KCCA in there, you have lands, you have NEMA, all of those that issue licenses. You hear our president saying investors should get an investor's license in 2 days. We must do it. Today, the normal investors spend 2 months, 6 months
to acquire a license.
To acquire an investor's license. For you to get a trading permit, how long? Do you know how long it will take you?
How long?
To open up a business, do you know how long it will take you? That's not good for doing business in our country. We need to shorten the time so that within 2 days, within a day, you should be able to open up a business.
Right.
Yeah? So those are the challenges we're working on. But the biggest challenge we had was our systems in government were not integrated. They were not talking to each other.
Right.
And also the cost of systems was expensive. We have a conference starting on Monday. It's called the Free Open Source Software Conference for Africa, which is basically to promote the use of open source software. You know, as we develop these systems, we use software.
Yeah.
If it's expensive, we can't afford, but there is free open source software which people can use and therefore not expensive. We are hosting this conference. Intentionally, we would like to see Uganda to start to use open source software. It's again part of our overall strategy to take things online cheaply.
Right.
Okay, so those are the interesting things. You heard of the free Wi-Fi we're going to be doing, launching in October.
Oh, that's in October?
Yeah, we want citizens in Kampala to enjoy free Wi-Fi at night. You know, we pay for these, all government offices, since we're delivering internet bandwidth to MDAs.
Yes.
We buy this internet, and at night, actually, when we analyzed at night, nobody is in the offices. Yet we've paid for this internet bandwidth.
Right. But it's not in use.
It's not in use
at the time.
At that time. So we said, no, we need to find a way to use this internet bandwidth
Right.
efficiently for the country. And what have we done? We've said, okay, we are putting up Wi-Fi equipment around the city, and we're going to allow citizens access free Wi-Fi at night from 6, because we leave our offices at 6.
Right.
And
So after 6 and on.
After 6 till morning. That shouldn't be a reason to stay in the
Will
town.
we sleep?
And especially the universities.
Work until late.
Especially the universities like Makerere,
Right.
Nakawa, Victoria University, all those universities are in town, CBD. The students are going to be enjoying free Wi-Fi in the evenings. Isn't that lovely? Isn't that lovely for the country?
How cool is that? How cool is that? But you know, while we want to celebrate that, nothing in its, fullness, like they put it, is without its disadvantages. There's always merits and demerits for just about anything. So what are the dangers that are likely to occur with such easy access?
Of course, the biggest dangers as we put more things online, cybersecurity becomes more pervasive. We are also the agency in charge of cybersecurity, information security in the country, and we work also with the other agencies in government like Uganda Communications Commission, police, security, etc., to make sure we secure our systems and especially create awareness to the citizens and to our government users. Can I have a fork?
Sure. There you go.
So the biggest danger is cybersecurity.
All right.
Because people can be hacked into, spend many hours on the online, especially the kids. And we've done special things. We want to make sure children are protected, so we're going to do a lot of awareness. Of course, we're going to harden our systems, but the biggest danger are people. People who use the systems they need to be aware. For example, do you have any passwords?
Password? Yeah.
Like for your email? Can you tell me one of them?
Are you able to get in?
No, just tell me your password.
Is that safe?
So you see, one of the awarenesses we need to tell citizens, never share your password with me.
Okay.
Yeah, never. Because the moment, and I see very many people, I walk into people's offices, and by the side of their desk there is normally yellow stickers, and it says, password for my mobile money.
Sticky papers with codes and passwords.
Yeah, password for my online banking. And
they have it saved in phones. That is so wrong.
So, awareness. The moment you give away your password, then the next thing you'll cry.
Right.
And that's not the only thing. If you have any apps where, for example, you have your email, if you're using your phone, make sure it's secured. If you lose it, so that people don't go in and attack and use.
Is it easy to do that though? Because even with passwords, people down there, know how to do their thing. The smart guys from what's that street? Wilson.
Well, there are other awareness techniques which I need to warn you. Always.
Share.
Huh?
Do share. Tell us.
Always change your password regularly.
Oh.
Yeah?
How regular?
As regular as you can. That way, hackers and people who want to get into your system using your password, because sometimes if you leave your same password on for a year, people will try and break it.
Right.
But if you keep changing it, they won't break into it.
I've had a bunch of young people actually have an argument on hacking, and to them they believe no one here is as smart as hacking. Yeah, so they believe we don't have hackers in Uganda.
Well, if you go on the internet, once you put your service on the internet, that means it's accessible all over the world.
All right.
So your system becomes accessible to all these international people who are all over the world. So now you're not only vulnerable to people in Uganda,
Right.
you're vulnerable to people who are out of the country also.
Elsewhere.
Yeah. And that's the biggest danger, so you must be aware of that. But apart from that, what do we see as a country? So we would like to see ICT help young people to create jobs. One of our biggest problems we see today, young people mostly use, you remember about 15, 20 years ago, we only had these phones.
Yes.
I don't know how young you are, but for me,
I remember them. So.
I remember vividly. My dad would go to the post office to call one of our uncles in the US.
Oh yeah.
And he had a phone at home. If it ever rang, it was his boss. So, and it ring, and the whole house would know that it's ringing.
Oh yeah, it had one of those very loud tones.
So we had about 30,000 of those about 20 years ago across the country. Now, do you know how many phones are in this country?
Tell.
Over 15 million people have access to phones. We're a country of 36 million, where 70% of our population is below 30. Yeah? Our youngest population today have access to ICT. That is an advantage, but the disadvantage is if you don't direct these people to use these tools to create jobs for themselves, they will misuse them.
Right.
That's why most of them go and use social media to abuse people and all of that, and that's not good.
Right.
I advise the youth, please use your ICT tools, especially the phones on social media, to create jobs, and you can. And that's where your focus should be. If you've opened up a small business, advertise your business on social media.
Online.
Yeah, and go and get money.
Right.
Sell your products online, get money. I know of young people who are selling things they do, and they have put themselves online.
Right. Online marketing.
And they deliver these things to people using Facebook or Twitter or WhatsApp, and they're making money, and they don't have shops, so the addresses are not known. Of course, Uganda Revenue Authority is annoyed; they can't find them, but they make money. Yeah, right. So that's another problem.
Right. I hear you. In a little bit, I would love for you to give us a few tips on how we can actually use social media to benefit us as opposed to just idle surfing and everything that comes with that. That's in a little bit. Let's just go for a short breather. Remember, good cooking is with Fortune Oil. So the talk still continues, but right now we have to get to the Spanish omelette. So we're ready to start frying.
Okay, so, and this is the interesting part, of course. You get to light the cooker, make sure you have enough fire.
All right.
The eggs don't love a lot of fire, so you just put enough fire. I normally use at home extra virgin olive oil, but since you have Fortune Oil, I use Fortune Oil.
Yeah, Fortune Oil, very good oil and low on cholesterol.
The extra virgin oil is actually low on cholesterol also. Okay. So this one, you don't put in a lot of oil. I really don't like my egg oily.
Right.
And at home, everyone doesn't love the egg oily. I've seen some people cook. When the egg comes out, it's all oily.
No, I don't prefer mine like that either.
You just want to put enough oil so that you cook the... For me, my advice is you put just enough oil so that you get these vegetables cooked. The Spanish omelette, the eggs will cook by themselves.
Right.
So, we'll let it heat up so that we can move on. But I can continue telling you about technology. I was telling you how young people should be using technology
to benefit us.
Social media is very pervasive, so it spreads very quickly. Of course, what people do is they send malicious lies and they think that's fun, but that's not the best way to make money.
No exaggeration. It should be legit.
The best way of making money on social media is advertise whatever you have. And people sell 1 or 2 items somewhere. Yeah?
Right.
And so my advice to young people, whatever you're selling or whatever service you're doing, put it on social media. People will get access to it. See what's happening, the transformation in our country. Uber.
Yes.
Yeah? Uber, the Uber taxi.
I need to check that. Yes.
The taxis now can pick you from anywhere. That's a transformation.
Right.
Most young people think that the only way you can make money is by developing applications. No.
You can use what's readily available to you.
You should use technology to sell what you have. I'll give you a story. One time I went to South Korea, and when I landed, an app came up on my phone after I bought the local number, and the first app that came up was find the nearest dustbin.
The nearest dustbin?
The nearest dustbin.
Okay.
And I was very anxious, and I said, okay, this country must be very clean. So I actually take interest and I use it to find the nearest dustbin. I went, I located it, I looked at it.
Oh, so it has like a map?
Yes, it will tell you walk 20 meters. It will actually show you on the map that where the nearest dustbin is. And,
wow.
So I went to the dustbin, opened it up, and I thought, so how do these people make money? And actually, as it turned out, it's not the app that makes the money. It's the dustbin makers who are making the money, because they make smart dustbins. Okay, so the app, from an outside point of view, really is free. So that's not what makes money. What makes money is the dustbin. The dustbin makers who put in smart devices in the dustbin. This dustbin
To be tracked.
That dustbin will tell the providers that it's full, so come and pick up.
That is so cool.
It talks to the company office. The company office says, no, which ones are full, which ones are not full, so send the trucks, pick up.
We need that app.
No, you need that technology.
Oh, yeah, we need that technology.
So the app is not the problem.
Right.
It is the what? It is the selling of the dustbin that's most interesting.
Right.
So use the technology to make money, and that's what the young people should. I see young people just concentrating on doing an app to find hotels. No, that's not interesting. And we keep telling them, look for something that will help you make money, and therefore use the app to sell your product. Okay? And that's what young people need to do. So advertise more on social media. Social media goes very fast.
Right.
And that's where this country needs to go.
Right, and it all starts with the education, because at the same time, if you don't know how to use something, if you're ignorant about something, then it would be available, but it would still not help. So that takes us through school. How do you as NITA prepare this generation for what's yet to come and technology advancement? What are some of the programs or projects you have laid?
Right now we're working on two things. I told you about the national backbone. We are connecting all these offices. First of all, we've concentrated a lot on government to make sure that we create efficiency. We have lots of inefficiency in government. We use ICT to create efficiency so that systems are integrated. Every agency was doing their own system. URA created e-tax. You can pay your taxes, but when it gets to knowing you, they can't connect to the national ID. Whereas national ID knows you. URSD, when they're opening a business, they open up a business, they don't know you. So we're connecting these systems so that they talk to each other to improve service delivery. And once we get to that level, we're going to see tremendous improvement in service delivery in this country to our citizens for the services government offers. The other thing, the programs we're working on is called business process outsourcing.
What's that?
Business process outsourcing is to be able to use ICT to earn money, to do jobs that are not here but are abroad. We created a center in town called at Statistics House, and we have private companies working there. We invested in infrastructure, so kids are there doing jobs that are not located in this country.
Right.
Okay, and that's the best one way of using technology to make money. For example, an accountant can actually do an accounting work for a company that's located in Canada using IT, using the internet. And that's why the price of internet needs to be cheap. If the price of internet is not cheap, you can't compete with the other countries like India, like Egypt, that are doing these services. That
So it does affect development.
Yes, the price of internet does affect development. And that's why we're working hard to... So one of the things also we're going to be building is a national IT park where these BPO companies will be located. It will house about 30,000 jobs. The park is going to be in Entebbe. We're going to use public-private partnerships to build that park because government doesn't have a lot of money. Our priorities are different. And in this park, we will create 30,000 jobs in the next 4 or 5 years using ICT. So that's where we're going. We also want to go into electronics so that we have young people who can create stuff. We want to go into that and see that we can start to create electronics, homegrown electronics.
Right.
Yeah.
And actually be able to fund such projects.
Yeah. So those are the routes we are taking. We are, like I told you, 70% of our population is under 30. We are a very young country. If we don't use ICT to help these people get jobs, we'll be in a problem.
We're doomed.
Yeah. Well, I've put in the egg, and it's starting to cook. You know, I like it when the egg doesn't get mashed up. So I'm normally very careful in making sure that it's all very well arranged.
So you split it before?
Yes, so that it doesn't get like a scrambled egg. I don't like the scrambled egg. My omelette to be scrambled.
That has to be on very low heat.
Yeah.
turn it. And much as you prefer to have little oil, you need to be careful because sometimes it's too little that the egg will burn as well. So you need to be able to draw a line.
If the fire is too much, yeah. So
where did you go to school? Take us through your education background. Did you study here?
yeah, I studied here. My primary, my father was a land surveyor. He worked in government, and he used to travel a lot in the country. So he was one of those who would be transferred from town to town. My primary was in Mbale, called Fairway Primary School. That's where I did my primary. And I went to Chitovu. And St. Henry's College, Chitovu in Masaka. The only reason I went to Chitovu, I could have gone to St. Mary's, was I had two elder brothers in St. Mary's. So my father said, no. All of you are not ending up in...
Not all three, huh?
Yeah. So you put your first choice in can I get a plate?
Sure.
In Chitovu, and I ended up in Chitovu. Of course, the war found me there. And
the war?
that is the Idi Amin War, when I had done S4. And I couldn't go back for A-level. So I did my A-level at Caltech Academy in Makerere. And joined Makerere. That was the time we had the war with the NRA war starting. And I got a scholarship to go to Russia.
Right.
To do my bachelor's and master's in computer science. I started my life in Bank of Uganda as a system analyst. After Bank of Uganda, joined Panworld. After Panworld, went into Shell, where I spent most of my life.
Shell.
Shell. We have a family of Shell people who... Shell is like a family of... when you work for Shell, you get embedded in the values of Shell. So here's the omelette. You want to test?
Oh, sure.
And you'll tell me whether I've done a good job.
Okay, though we still have that, what are we going to do with that?
No, the mushrooms, I didn't put them in intentionally. I don't know, the instinct told me, mushrooms are tricky things.
Right.
If normal people don't like mushrooms, I don't know why. They fear they're either poisons, etc. So I normally ask, will you eat mushrooms? So in order for people who will eat this omelette, I didn't want to ask, so that's why I left them.
Yeah. So you said mushrooms can possibly be poisonous?
No, people sometimes fear they are poisonous mushrooms. But for me, I eat mushrooms. I love them. I love them. Let me get a fork and test this.
You go by faith. Well, we shall be testing this Spanish omelette in a little bit, but how inviting does that look? It looks very colorful and super delish, yeah? So that's in a little bit. Stick around. It is Can Men Cook and Chef James. We've had some very good conversation on IT and all, and there's a lot for us to learn actually. But through the eyes of NITA, how does our future look in terms of, ICT?
Like I said, we have a young population. Our future is bright, actually.
Awesome.
We're going to see more, and that's why government is putting a lot of emphasis on making sure that whatever the services we're providing, we use ICT, because that's the language the young people talk. Right. And so our future is bright. we're going to see much more ICT innovations being done, especially to help create jobs. Yeah.
Right. Let me take you to a side that just might seem very sensitive, especially when it comes to parents and how, to them, the fact that young people have access to internet is not a and it's really such a big issue. And we've known some countries to have a way of having probably gatekeepers or just eliminating such information. How possible is it for Uganda?
I'll tell you some of the initiatives we have. We are working with the UK government. We have a child help desk. And also we do have technology that reports images of children, bad images of children on the internet. Today we have that technology. We need to protect the children from being abused on the internet.
Right.
So, however, I always advise parents, it's not a bad thing to let your child have access to the internet, but you need to make them aware that there is it's a world full of gangs of bad people. And social engineering is one of those things that really, and what we call now bullying, cyberbullying, where young people are bullied and on the internet. So you need to make them aware, and if they get bullied, let them tell you. For me, at least my kids, if they get into trouble in the internet, I've been coaching them, telling them, change your passwords, do this. Do
But at what age, though, do you allow them access to internet?
Ever since they're kids. Ever since they're kids.
How old?
4, 5, 6,
Oh, yeah.
7. Yeah. You can lock some sites away from the kids. There's smart ways of doing it.
Right.
You can use some software to hide away some things. But you need to train the child to protect themselves. It's like when you let the children onto the street. Most of us now grow our children in the walls. But when we grew up, for me, I don't remember having a wall around our house. We would wander off onto our neighbors. But your parent always advised you, don't eat that, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that, so that you're safe.
Right.
Same way with the internet. You need to keep coaching your children.
So make time and have this conversation
with the
your
children. Yeah. And the other thing is so that they have the confidence if they fall into trouble to tell you. You hear a lot of stories in the UK, in the US, where children commit suicide because of undergoing cyberbullying, and they can't tell their parents. So you have to continuously talk to your children so that if they get into trouble, I know one of my daughters, she one time had her email password stolen. And she was very easy to tell me, because she was quick to tell me, Dad, my password has been stolen. I can't control my email anymore. I just told her, delete the email.
And get something else.
Yeah.
So have the conversation with your children.
Yeah.
Already here before us is a very deliciously looking Spanish omelette prepared by Chef James, and we're ready to eat.
Yep. So, ladies first.
Yeah. You did the cooking, so will you please serve?
So you want to serve you?
Yes.
Tomatoes, I like fresh tomatoes. Doctors actually recommend to eat fresh tomatoes.
Healthy.
They're very healthy.
Thank you.
I'll give you a conservative portion.
Thank you. If, say, you were to use the mushrooms, at what point were they supposed to come in? With the tomatoes and onions before the eggs?
Yeah, you also cook them together.
So fry till they're ready, and then.
Some people like the vegetables to be soft. Some people like them half cooked. I'm one of those who likes them between medium and half cooked. So, and there we go. So, have you tasted?
Not yet.
You'd better.
Not yet. I'm waiting for you to go first. Bless this food. Amen.
Amen. I don't want to blow my own trumpet.
It's all right. Go right on.
How do you like it?
I actually do.
Yeah?
I like it.
Normally at home, the plates are cleaned, so the kids eat everything. So I love this.
I like it. It is a very easy fix. And then I like that it's not too oily. That's my favorite bit. And especially for the men who have different excuses of going out there and spending too much, yet you can actually use a very, short time or little time preparing this omelette. You can't have this over breakfast, but even any time in the day, right?
Yeah.
It can be a quick but
It's good for
satisfying
breakfast. Good for breakfast,
snack. So this is good. I was looking forward to the mushroom. That didn't happen, so that's all right. You'll probably come through next time and we see.
I didn't intentionally put in the mushrooms. I feared that. Normally, I ask, "Will you eat mushrooms?" So it's one of those things that people fear.
Right. So easy fix. No doubt you did amazing with this one. So on a scale of 1 to 10, did you know there's some marks coming? On a scale of 1 to 10, we haven't had anyone daring to prepare this. Yeah, but it's also a quick one. Sometimes I want these men to go for the hardest things, and then that way we know they are so good at cooking because they look out for the very hard dishes to prepare. So because this is very simple, how are we going to rate that? How well do you think you've done? No doubt this is a very cool mean omelette, but on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you?
I will. Before I answer the scale, I'll tell you for me the tricks I used to do in exams.
Right.
When I get an exam paper, I first go through it and find the easiest parts and I answer them.
Right.
The hardest parts, because sometimes you won't get time. So let me answer all the easy things. So the omelette is an easy thing. And if I do it well, I get the marks. Yeah?
Okay.
So, did I do it well? Yes.
Will you judge? Yeah, will you help me judge this one? It's all right. Go right through to our Can Men Cook page, Can Men Cook Show on Facebook and Twitter. That's at Can Men Cook Show as well. Better still, my personal page, that's at Olivia Ziwa with a single Z. And tell me, how would you rate Mr. James Saaka's cooking today? Is it a 10 out of 10? Is it 9 out of 10, 8, 7, or maybe 5? Huh? So for this show, and it's the very first time we're doing this in history, we shall let our viewers be the judges of this on the other side.
I wish they could test it.
From the look of things. But if you ask me, 8. Yeah, 8. Which is good.
Yeah.
It's good. What? You want to?
That's excellent.
Yeah, it is excellent.
Above 7 is excellent.
It is excellent. So go as well on Facebook and Twitter, Olivia Ziwa single Z, and at Can Men Cook Show on Twitter, Can Men Cook Show on Facebook, and let us know what you think of this. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for coming through. Yeah, and a quick reminder before I go, thank you so much for watching the show and for loving the show. And because you've been loyal, you've been such a loyal, amazing audience, we have a do for you. And we want you to come through for the Olivia meet and greet. That's at Carnival come the 28th. That's next Sunday, 28th August. The time is 1 p.m. all through to 6 p.m. It's just for 30,000 for your meals. We have awesome performances. It's a fun time, and we shall be doing a show there, and you never know, you just might get the opportunity to co-host the show with me. So get your meal coupon from NBS TV reception. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much once again for sharing this lovely recipe.
Thank you for inviting me.
All right.
And I think it's been a wonderful time.
Awesome. Awesome. Take good care, and Hwansang brings fabulosity to your house.